let us see another example on calculation of working capital requirement. Now in this example, a pro forma cost sheet of a company is given. The cost details are given regarding the elements of cost. So the first element of cost is material. Material cost is the percentage is given. 40% direct labor, 20% overheads, 20%. Then some additional information is also given. First is it is proposed to maintain a level of activity of 2 lakh units. That means this is the annual production. Then second information is about the selling price. Selling price is rupees 12 per unit. So this selling price will become the base for calculating the elements of cost. So if the selling price is rupees 12 per unit, then the material cost will be 40% of 12 rupees. Direct labor 20% and overheads also 20% of 12 rupees. So that will do in the working note. Then raw materials are expected to remain in stores for an average period of 1 month. Material will be in process on average half a month and is assumed to be consisting of 100% raw material, wages and overheads. So this we will take as the degree of completion. We will take the degree of completion as 100% complete for all three elements of cost. Finished goods are required to be in stock for an average period of 1 month. Credit allowed to debtors is 2 months. Credit allowed by suppliers is 1 month. You may assume the sales and production follow a consistent pattern. You are required to prepare a statement of working capital requirements. So now we'll prepare a working note for calculation of elements of cost. Now as I told you earlier, the selling price is rupees 12 and the material cost is 40% of 12 rupees. That comes to rupees 4.8. Direct labor cost is 20% of rupees 12. That comes to rupees 2.4. And overhead cost is also 20% of rupees 12. That also comes to rupees 2.4. Now we prepare a statement showing working capital requirement. So it will have 3 columns, particulars, one inner column for the amount and one outer column. So we know that working capital is nothing but total current assets minus total current liabilities. So we begin with the current assets. So we write first A, current assets. In the current asset, the first current asset which we will take is the stock of raw materials. Now we have to see what information is given about the stock of raw materials. So in the example, it is said that C point, raw materials are expected to remain in stores for an average period of 1 month. So 1 month is the period for stock of raw materials. So in the brackets we write 1 month and then we calculate the amount of money that will be invested in the raw material. So the annual production is 2 lakh units divided by 12. That means we find the monthly production into raw material cost per unit we have calculated 4.8. So into 4.8 into 1 month. So the raw material cost will be 80,000 that we take directly to the outer column. The second current asset is stock of work in process. Now regards stock of work in process, the information is given in the D point. Material will be in process on average half a month. So we are taking half a month, that is 0.5 months. Now while calculating the amount of money to be invested in the stock of work in process, we'll have to calculate it element wise. That is the 3 elements: raw material, labor and overheads individually. So raw material 2 lakh units divided by 12 months in a year. So we find the monthly production into 4.8 is the per unit cost of raw material into 0.5 is the half month. Then similarly labor 2 lakh divided by 12 into 2.4 is the per unit cost of labor into 0.5. So that comes to 20,000. Raw material is 40,000, labor 20,000. Overheads 2 lakhs units per year divided by number of months in a year into 2.4 is the per unit cost of overheads into 0.5, that is half month. So that also comes to rupees 20,000. Now all these 3 elements will be added, 40,000 plus 20,000 plus 20,000, and the total will be taken to the outer column, that is 80,000 rupees. The third current asset is stock of finished goods. So with regards finished goods, the information given is in the E point. Finished goods are required to be in stock for an average period of 1 month. So it is 1 month. So write into brackets 1 month. And then again we calculate the cost element wise. Raw material 2 lakhs units per annum divided by 12 months into 4.8 is the per unit cost of raw material into 1 month, 80,000. Then labor 2 lakh annual production divided by 12 months into 2.4 per unit cost of labor into 1 month, 40,000. Overheads 2 lakhs annual production divided by number of months in a year, 12 into 2.4 is an per unit cost of overheads into 1 month. So that comes to 40,000. So these three elements will be added, 80,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000. To the outer column we'll have 1,60,000 is the amount which will be invested in the stock of finished goods. Then the fourth current asset is debtors. Now regarding debtors, the information given is F point. Credit allowed to debtors is 2 months. So we take into brackets 2 months. Now for debtors also we have to calculate the investment as per the elements of cost. So raw materials 2 lakh units per year divided by 12 months in a year into cost of raw material is 4.8 per unit into 2 months. So that comes to rupees 1,60,000 in the inner column. Labor 2 lakh annual production divided by 12 months in a year into 2.4 is the per unit cost of labor into 2 months. So that comes to 80,000 rupees. Overheads 2 lakh annual production divided by 12 months into 2.4 per unit cost of overheads into 2 months. So that comes to rupees 80,000. So again we take the totals of raw material, labor, overheads 1,60,000 plus 80,000 plus 80,000 and that will go to the outer column 3,20,000. Now we have done with all the current assets from the information given in the example. Now the next step is to find out the total of the current assets. So here we'll take the total of the outer column 80,000 plus 80,000 plus 1,60,000 plus 3,20,000. So that will be rupees 6,40,000 total current assets. It will be called as total current assets. Now as we know, working capital is total current assets minus total current liabilities. Now from this current assets we deduct the current liabilities. Now in the example there is only one current liability and that is regarding the creditors. The last point, G point. Credit allowed by suppliers is 1 month. So suppliers from whom we take goods on credit are called as creditors. So we are going to pay 1 month in arrears to the suppliers of raw material. So when we are calculating the investment to be made in creditors, we need to take only the cost of raw material because we are taking only raw materials from the suppliers. There will be no involvement of any labor or overheads in that cost, right? So we write 1 month into brackets creditors, current less current liabilities. Under that the first item is creditors and they are allowing us 1 month of credit. So here we take only the cost of raw material. So it will be 2 lakhs divided by 12 months into the cost of raw material per unit is 4.8 into 1. So that comes to 80,000. And since only one amount is there, we take it directly to the outer column. So 6,40,000 is the total current assets minus current liabilities. Only one item is there, that is 80,000. So 6,40,000 minus 80,000, it comes to rupees 5,60,000. Now this is the amount which is required to be calculated. It is called as net working capital or the working capital required by the organization. So students, I hope you all have understood this example. We'll meet in the next video with another important example. Thank you.